Hi everybody, this is Vince Rasky and I'm from Tri-County Schools, and today I'm going to try and take you through all of the individual events in 5 minutes or less. Let's see if I can do it. Here we go. First up is public address. Public address is when the student reads a speech from another person. Now, the speech may be up to 8 minutes long, and while they are trying to express the feelings and intention and emotion of the original speaker, they are not doing an impersonation of the speaker. This is not an acting category. Up next, we have acting, and this is obviously an acting category. Student has 8 minutes to present a scene or a skit. The student may be more than one character in the acting scene, so it can be a scene between two characters, or it can be a monologue. They may not costume, and the only set piece they may use is a chair. Next up are interpretation categories: poetry, prose, and lit program. Poetry and prose are similar in the rules in that they're both 6 minutes long, and it is designed for the student to interpret an author's intent in their writing and to express the feelings and emotions of the piece. They are not allowed to move, but they do have the script in front of them and they must read from the script. Literary program is similar in that it is a combination of both poetry and prose. You must have some poetry and some prose in your lit program. You have up to 8 minutes for your lit program, and you need to have some kind of introduction and transitions in which you explain the connection between the poetry and prose based on some kind of theme or idea connection. And real quickly, the difference between poetry and prose: poetry is poetry, prose is pretty much anything that isn't poetry. Moving right along, original oratory. Original oratory is an original script speech written by the student that is designed to inspire or persuade the audience. It is up to 8 minutes long. The student may have a copy of the script and read from it, but they are not required to have a copy of the final speech with them. Spontaneous speaking. Spontaneous speaking is kind of improvisational public speaking. Student goes into the room 3 minutes before their performance time, and they draw a series of topics. They pick one, and then they have 3 minutes to write or create or prepare a 5-minute speech on that subject. They must take a position about the subject. Organization, ability to think on your feet, and knowledge of current events is very, very helpful in this category. Up next, we have radio news announcing. Radio news announcing is sort of unique because it has a defined prep time, 30 minutes. 30 minutes before your performance time, you go to the prep room in which the student is handed a folder full of news articles, news events, weather, a commercial, and they need, from all that information, trim it down to a 4 to 5 minute radio broadcast presentation. They have to have a commercial, but anything else in there is up to their discretion as to what to use. This is a category that has a minimum time limit, so if it is less than 4 minutes, it is a disqualification. If it is longer than 5 minutes, it is a disqualification. Expository address. Expository address is an informative speech written by the student in which they explain something or how to do something. They may use visual aids for this, PowerPoint or props of any kind, and this is limited to 6 minutes. It must be informative. Storytelling. Storytelling is exactly what it sounds like. It is a 5-minute maximum memorized story. The student may pick a story that is a children's story, or it can be anything that is more or less defined as a story. They must sit on a stool during their performance. They may give a short introduction while standing, but they must sit for the majority of the story, and they are not allowed to use costumes or props of any kind. Improvisation. This is a student goes into a room alone, draws some situations and some characters, and must put it all together into a 5-minute maximum skit with a beginning, middle, and end, while only having 3 minutes to prepare it. This is for your creative and courageous kids. Reviewing is next. A student may choose to review and give their opinion on pretty much anything: a movie, a TV show, an album, a song, a podcast, a book, a video game, almost anything that they want. And they may do an up to 8-minute critique and review of whatever it is they have chosen to review. They may use visual aids to enhance their performance. After dinner speaking is a 5-minute maximum original speech written by the student, directed at a specific audience, and they must define who that audience is in their speech. So they can entertain, they can inform, however it wants to go, but they have to direct it at a certain audience. They may costume for this. And then finally, solo musical theater. Solo musical theater is when the student sings and acts at the same time. It is a 5-minute maximum. They may do one song and one song only. They may not speak to the audience or do any sort of introduction. The room chair will tell the pertinent information about the show. If you are going to do solo musical theater, make sure you are obtaining royalties and rights for any song that you sing. And go to the IHSSA website if you have questions or concerns about obtaining the rights or royalties to any song. So there you go. There they are. I don't think I did it in 5 minutes, but I think I did it pretty quick. If you have further questions about any of these categories, consult your constitution for in-depth rules analysis. And if you have any questions after that, feel free to contact the IHSSA for clarification. Good luck, and thanks for listening.